Good afternoon to you. It is 12 o'clock Eastern Standard Time, so it must be time for another edition of Hardison's Tips. I'm your host, Brandon Hardison, President of Champion Strategies. Glad to be with you. We do not have a guest today. And if you've noticed for the past 2 days, we haven't had our regular 5 a.m. meeting. We're working on something that's going to give you some more powerful information about our industry. I wish I could tell you more, but we're working on that. So please hang in there. Now, my students are out to lunch. I want to just talk to you a second, whether you're a sales consultant or a manager who's there naturally to make sure that your people are getting the best that they can get for themselves. They need you. So I'm going to talk for a few minutes about certified pre-owned, CPO. Yes, to me, every day should be a CPO day. You may not think that way in your area, but I think that CPO is the best switch vehicle that's ever been thought of. And many dealer groups that I have worked with are still national or regionally ranked because they understand the program. That's the separation. I send all of my students out mystery shopping after we have our training, just so they can see what the competition is doing when they have a guest and why they leave and go to another dealership. So this way, when they do come to my students, they know how to treat the customer. So certified pre-owned. Now we're just talking about OEMs, manufacturers certified programs. Are there others that the independents can and are doing now? Yes, but they don't have the support, the power, the backing of the manufacturer. And here's why it's important for a certified pre-owned vehicle. Very first thing, please, no ands, ifs, or buts about it. CPOs, certified pre-owns, are used cars. Please let that sink in. Because if you go around a certified pre-owned and it has a whole lot of things on it, and it really shouldn't have been certified in the first place, you're going to find yourself doing a lot of WEOs trying to get it up to the standard of the guest. So, first and foremost, it's a used vehicle. But what makes it special? If you were to mystery shop online, call, or show up at a dealership, watch many people talk about the warranty. Yeah, warranty's there. If there's a balance of the original warranty, that must exceed before the extension or the added CPO warranty is added on. It's great. But what else do you know? From my research, people leave out the deductible. Check and see if your manufacturer has a deductible or not. The guests that come in, your customers, it's important to them. And many times they're not educated on it because no one brings it up until something is needed. And then they're hit between the eyes. How about the transferability? Is your CPO transferable? In other words, does the CPO program stay with the vehicle? If it's transferable and you still have some CPO time left on that vehicle and you want to trade it in, guess what you have as a consumer? Some additional value. Are we talking about your manufacturer's point inspection? Now, once again, depending on the manufacturer, the point inspection varies. But are we talking about that? Or are we just saying it comes with a 160 point inspection? You need to know at least one point inspection in each one of the categories that are listed on the inspection checklist. And I'll come back to that. At least one. If you know more than one, you're ahead of the pack. Do you tell your guest, or is the CPO package in your glove box? And here's what I mean. That CPO pack, which most salespeople wait until delivery and then they explain it, or after the test drive, once they come back in before the numbers, they go over it. Why don't you explain it while you're walking around the vehicle? Either before or after, let them see the certified pre-owned package. In other words, where they can see the point inspection that's in triplicate, signed by the service tech who did the work. Remember, they have the power. Being the service technician, they had to take a special test in order to look over that vehicle to see if it meets everything that that manufacturer is saying that it needs to be certified. If they feel, being the technician, it doesn't, they don't sign. And if they don't sign, I don't care what the used car manager, I don't care what the GM or dealer principal. It is that technician that is on the line when he signs. Many times there's space for the service manager because he or she also has to take a special test to be part of the CPO program. And for some, even the sales consultant has to sign. So, package 100 point, 200 point, 300 point inspection signed. Also, what did we have to do to get it up to certification? The RO. It shows the guest what things were done by your dealership to get that vehicle front line ready. Now, there's also some other additions to it. You may have a pamphlet, trifload. You might have a Carfax accompany in with that. But show the CPO package. It reinforces, it gives the guest a different value, not just you speaking it. Now they can actually seeing it. Because the old adage, seeing is believing for some customers, and that's what you're doing. Now, here's one of the biggest downfalls. Walkarounds. Are we walking around talking about the CPO program? Not performance, not safety. Are we going around the footprint and at different parts, we're telling the guest about the power of your CPO program? In other words, every CPO vehicle comes with new wiper blanks. It cannot be certified if there's stars on the glass. That's a walk around. You're telling them about the value of the program, your CPO program. Many salespeople fail and they leave that one out. Many salespeople don't do a walk around at all. So if you do not do a walk around, and if I'm a customer, what are they thinking? Well, what makes this vehicle special? If you just throw them the keys, let's go for a demo ride, sure, that's where the performance, the safety, the comfort, all those things will come in. But they came in and you convinced them, or they saw online about this certified pre-owned. Talk to them about the program. That's what they want to hear. The other thing that a whole lot of people leave out and do a mystery shop call, trip interruption. Roadside assistance is good to talk about, but customers know that for years if they had OnStar or something like that, I can get roadside assistance. That's not a big thing to me. But the trip interruption that your manufacturer adds on to the roadside assistance, that's what I'm talking about. In other words, usually there's a starting point, 100 miles, 200 miles away from your home before it engages. But let's say that they're going on a family reunion that's 500 miles away from where they live, and something happens to their CPO vehicle, and they take it to the nearest manufacturer, but it's close to service closing time. And service advisor tells you we can't get to it today. It's going to have to be tomorrow. Because it's certified, it's a rental opportunity. Because it's certified, there's a hotel that comes with it. Because it's certified, there are eats for you and your babies, your significant other. Trip interruption is the most beautiful thing that's out there because it gives the customers peace of mind. And I don't know why we don't lean on that. Once again, I am not knocking roadside assistance, but please always remind the guest about the trip interruption. Because if we just did simple math on how much for a rental, how much for a hotel, how much to feed my family. Now, usually there is a dollar amount per day, per week. We can all figure that out. But here's the beauty of the trip interruption. As long as that CPO vehicle is still certified, that trip interruption is still in play. I'll say it a different way. You mean I can use this as many times as I want? Yes, as long as the vehicle is still under the guidelines of the CPO program. Now you're going to have that customer nodding and thinking, because they're thinking about the different trips that they can now take. And if they are a little creative, they can find a way where this can really work for them and their family. Now, if I said the word turn, what comes to your mind? Now, if you're a manager, you should already be inside the game. But if you're a salesperson, and if you ever heard your service and your sales arguing about something not being ready, it's the turn. It's the vehicle that in the back with service, we're waiting for it to be looked at by the technician and adjusted. We're looking at paintless dent repair. We're looking at window tint, whatever is in the back before we can take the picture and put it online or move the vehicle to the front line. Turn. It can be your greatest enemy or it can be your best friend. I would suggest, why don't you as a salesperson be the champion for your dealership by overlooking the CPO program? Help out your service manager. Help out your used car manager. Make sure that the CPO vehicles are moving from the back to the front. It's not additional work. it's additional income. If you look at it as team solution selling, now you're starting to look at it the right way, because it does no good if that turn is keeping you from reaching your goals and dreams in this great business we call automotive sales. So just wanted to touch on a few things with that. Hopefully you got something out of it. Now, we will have a guest next week, and I'm proud to announce that also I've picked up being the host of Automotive Training News. Richie Bello, who's been hosting that show, is extremely busy, and he offered me an opportunity to sit in. That starts at 1 o'clock today. So if you have time, tune in to Automotive Training News. We have a special guest. His name is Ron Garovic, and he has some great things to share with you. But as always, in parting, once again, Brandon Hardison, president of Champion Strategies, for this edition of Hardison's Tips on Wednesday, September 23rd, 2020. You go out and you make it a champion day.